Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brief bonus stream of Battleground Games Live. I am Andrew, as you probably know if you've watched any of our Battleground Games Live stuff before. And today I have a couple of short streams that I want to do in the next hour or so. And the first thing that I'm going to do is a little bit of construction. So if you have been listening on the podcast, and we may have mentioned it on the stream a couple of times, we have a miniature building competition going on at all three Battleground locations right now. It has been going on for about a month now, and I have not built anything, which is sort of, I don't know, it's my own downfall. I chose to start late. I had grand plans for a little diorama I was going to build, and I never actually got started. So I'm going to start today. Today, the Monday before the Sunday that it's due. So 1 week from today, it's due in, and I just have to find a way to make it work. So what I have is this little square. This is what you get when you enter into the competition. You get this little square, and you can put anything you want on it. It's about 3 inches to a side, so you can't make something really huge like a tank or something like that. I decided I was going to do something, and this is sort of partially for my wife. She has been playing in our library D&D game a female bard, and we didn't have a female bard figure. So I'm going to do this female bard figure. I'm going to make it look really cool, hopefully. And I'm going to do a little diorama. I'm going to have a little scene built around this bard. So I've got all this stuff here that I'm going to use, and I'm experimenting, doing some stuff that's outside my wheelhouse, trying out some new techniques. But I'm not actually doing much actual construction on the figures. So this is where it becomes a challenge. My goal with this project is not to win the competition. I don't really have any hope of doing that. I know that there are a lot of people who are exceptionally good builders in the Battleground community. I'm more trying to learn some new techniques. So I want to try some new things. I want to expand my abilities. And towards that end, I'm going to be doing a little bit of experimentation on the stream today. So this is the figure that I'm working with primarily. She's not in there. Is this bard. She's got a little pipe. She's got a little sword. She's a little bit washed out, but you get the general idea. There you go. So that's what I'm starting with. And then I wanted to give her something to do. So I bought a pack of kobolds. These are all Reaper Bones minis, so they're all sort of soft molded plastic. Here are the kobolds that I'm working with. I've got 6 in this pack. I'm going to use 3 of them. Looks like, yeah, there are 3 molds here to work from. There's this kobold here with a shield, and then there's this one with a spear, and another one with a sword and a spear. And you've got 2 copies of each of them in the packs of 6. So I'm going to choose the ones that look best. You can see this one's spear is a little bit bent. I could unbend it with some hot water, but instead I'm going to use this guy here who has a spear that's not as bent. And the first thing I need to do is cut these guys off of this. You can see they're all attached to this little thing here. So toss out the box they came in. Grab my hobby knife. What I'm ultimately going to do, and I might try to do this right now, is I want to remove these guys from their bases, because I am going to build my own base for this whole thing. So I need to remove them and the Bard from their bases. They're a little easier because their bases are flat. The Bard, I don't know if you can see it here, but she's on a little hill. Her base is a little tussock. Hopefully I can do this. Hopefully I can just cut her off of her base. Their feet are so tiny. I was hoping to drill and pin to attach them to the new base that I'm building. We'll try. I mean, like I said, I'm experimenting. And then the third thing that I got is just some scenery. I grabbed this pack that is labeled Treasure and Candelabra. If I can open the pack. Here we are. It's got 2 candelabras, which I probably won't use, but I could. And this little treasure chest. So, oops. I want to paint up that treasure chest, make it look kind of cool, and have the kobolds defending it while the Bard sort of attacks them with vicious mockery. So the first thing I need to do, like I said, is I need to get these guys off the bases. The treasure chest is fine as it is, but I need to get these guys off of here. I don't have a cutting board, but what I do have is a cardboard box. Just grabbed some random cardboard that I can use. And I'm gonna use my hobby knife and try to cut these guys off of this base without damaging them too much. This soft molded plastic is fairly easy to cut through, so that should work out okay, I hope. I'm trying to cut under this kobold's toes and just, I can take more than I need to and then trim down. It's just trying to be exact here. Okay, I've got 1 foot detached from the base. I don't think I detached any foot with it. And am I just leaning completely out of shot? I should adjust this shot if I'm going to be leaning down like this. Yeah, making progress here. This would be easier if he was not attached to the sprue here, so I'm just gonna, there we go, remove him from there and then back to the base. Oh yeah, this is coming along great. Okay. Oh, I think I lopped off a bit of one of his toes. Oh dear. There we go. All right, so there's a kobold detached from his base. Here's the base he was attached to. And I just need to do that 2 more times for the kobolds and then get the Bard. Yeah, I like this plastic. One concern I have is I have been told by many reliable sources that painting These guys can be difficult because basing this plastic, sometimes it reacts with the paint you're using to base. So I'm going to have to be careful with that. Of course, if I totally mess up the kobolds, I've got 3 more. Is he off? No. Okay, he's okay. He's alright. Now let's get his other foot here. Trying to cut a little deeper so as not to lop off his toes. This base has some texture and detail to it. There. Got him off. It's the second kobold for you. One more. Okay. This guy's tricky because his tail is actually attached to the base as well. There we go. And the tail and the other foot. And his foot actually goes out past the end of the base. Just need to angle. Did I get him? There we go. Oh, that came out pretty well. Alright, so that guy is mostly done too. Now to the bard. Kept her for last because I wanted to get some practice before attacking her. Her plastic is a little bit harder. It's a different plastic. It's okay. Just cutting away deeper in. Want to trim her away from her base. I'm going to make an all new base for her. Good, okay. Almost there. Just a couple more little snips. And she'll come free, and then I can trim the lines around this. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to hang on to her base, because I'll probably be using that. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Now, she's got a lot of very obvious mold lines, so I'm going to try and trim some of those down. Like, you can tell she was on a sprue here. The scabbard of her sword has a little bit of stuff here. Let's chop that off. This is tricky, because this is almost sculpting, and I am not a sculptor. I don't feel super confident in my ability to do this without ruining the figure itself. So I'm trying to be as light-handed as I can in removing these mold lines. I could have bought a mold line remover, which is like a hooked tool that you can get in under the mold lines and go down on them, but I'm just going to try and do this with my hobby knife. I could, oh man, this is difficult. I could try sanding these down. Like, she's got a little bit of a mold line here in her hair. really tricky. I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, is it going to look better with the sort of cuts that I'm introducing to remove the mold line? Do I even care about them? Obviously, when they're sculpting the pieces, the designers, and this is the challenge in designing a piece like this, they have to make it so that the mold lines will be as invisible as possible. So they put them on like the sides of the legs. I'm just trimming away a little bit of extra that I got when I cut her off her base. Okay. Trying to keep my hand out of the way because I don't want to trim my hand while I'm trimming the figure. There we go. That's a little better. Little trim here, snoop and snip. And a little along the back of this heel. There we go. If anybody has advice for me or anything, or if anybody's watching, hop into the chat. I have it up on my phone over here so I can check to see what people are saying as I'm playing around with this. I'm going to try and get this line around her elbow. Most of these mold lines are not too bad. I mean, they're visible. When I get some paint on the figure, maybe I can de-accentuate them. Oh my goodness. The inside of her arm is a little bit odd. There's a place here where there's a hollow inside her elbow. And when the figure was molded, some excess got in there. That's what the mold lines are. It's just extra material that you want to get rid of. See, these figures don't require much construction for the figures themselves, so I'm going to lose points on the competition on that basis. So I want to make them as clean as I can, considering that they're just pre-assembled when I bought them. Of course, I don't care about winning the competition. My priority is not beating other people. It's doing better work for myself. I'm going to get this bit here. She's got like a cuff, but I don't think it's supposed to stick out this much. Trying to make her flute a little bit less. Her flute is sort of distended by this extra stuff here. we go. Got that. Get along here. There, well, that came out pretty well. So I've talked before when I was painting my Rune Wars miniatures about how you get these figures and your first impression doesn't reveal a lot about them. It's when you actually get in and start working on the details, you discover things about them. Like it looks like this figure has a bare midriff. You can see her belly button there. And I don't know if that's what I want the figure to be. So when I paint it, I guess she'll have like a skin tight something on the middle there. There's a lot of little details in here, which I like. And there's a little bit of grit in here. There we go. Got it. Alright, well, that's some progress on her. I'm going to work on the kobolds a little bit. The kobolds are actually a little better than she is. Maybe because they're less detailed, so the mold lines aren't as obvious. Yeah, this guy's not bad. And then the treasure chest. A lot of nice texture on that treasure chest. I like that. That's going to be fun to paint. It's got a little lamp here and a bunch of coins. And it's got a lot of, like I said, texture just on the lid there. A lot of wood look to it. All right, so that's a start. Now, the next thing I want to do, I don't want everybody to be on the same level, because I feel like that's boring. So I have my cardboard box here. I'm going to start cutting this up into pieces and use it to build a platform. This is coming along better than I thought it was. I thought getting them off of their bases would be more difficult. This plastic is very easy to mold, so I appreciate that. So I've got, this is my base. I'm just gonna cut this to match the shape of the wood base that I have. There we go. Okay. So I talked about the fact that I want the bard to have her own base separate from everything else. So my plan is, when I'm ultimately done, so let me angle this down a little bit so that when I'm bending over, I'm not bending out of frame quite so much. There we go. Hi guys. So my plan is, to cut out a separate piece of this base so that I can just pluck her out of the diorama, and Amanda can use her as a figure for D&D, and then I can insert her back into the diorama when I'm done. So I think, and then I'm going to, like I said, build a platform. I guess I'll cut a couple more layers of this. So that I can get some height, because I think if everything's on the same level, it's kind of boring. I've got plenty of cardboard. This box is big, so I've got plenty to work with here. All right, so what's my plan? I'm going to have her in the corner. She's going to be playing her flute. I'll have this treasure chest here, and then I'll have the 3 kobolds all sort of looking at her. So one here, one with a spear over here, and a fellow with his sword maybe in the middle. And she's going to be lower, and they're going to be up. So, let's see.
Well, because I was using grass type moves against the water Pokemon, so super effective.
Maybe put this guy over here, maybe. They don't have to be all in a line. That would look kind of silly, I think. Oop. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. This guy's going to be facing this way. This guy's going to be facing this way. Nobody chatting, but it looks like a couple of people have checked in. Thanks for joining me while I consider and ponder my construction here. I think I'll do 2 more layers of cardboard. So let me grab my box and cut off another bit. So just going to continue building upwards.
This is, oh yeah, I want this one. This is not good. Too good. Yeah, well, you want to keep the best one. Yeah, you read the other day.
So my square that is the base is not perfectly flush on the corners, which is fine. It gives a sort of organic look. It's just, it was Chad from the store that made the bases for this competition, and he made them in bulk. I think he made 400 bases or something like that, 300 or 400. So obviously his priority was not making them exceptionally uniform. Let me get one more here, and then I'll construct the scene a little bit more. Folks who have listened to the stream before will probably notice that it is significantly quieter today. I'm doing this on a Monday afternoon before 5 p.m. So it's nice and quiet in the store. There's a couple of folks here, but it's not like it usually is when we're streaming on a Friday, and it's just exceptionally busy.
I rolled so good with her last night.
All right, making progress. I'm still upset with myself for leaving this to the last possible second, because if I had started earlier, I'm certain I could have done more, but that's fine. That's okay. All right, that's got a little height to it. So, just as an example, offset that. Yeah. So the question is, should I do steps?
What level are you at? That's pretty good. But 20 to 21.
I could do steps.
So much XP. You need so much XP for that next 5. Like, once you hit 20, you want XP, you need exponentially rises.
Leading up to the treasure chest. The treasure chest is off the edge of the base there now. Let's see. Trying to keep the steps in scale, and I know I'm going to be adding some more stuff to this base, so the height might be a little bit greater when I do that. So I could put her, instead of making it kitty corner, have her just right in the middle. But I like the corner better. I feel like maybe I don't need 3 levels, maybe 2 levels is better.
Yeah, what is it? Like down at the beach, a friend of mine caught like starlies everywhere. I'm like, dude, that's some shit.
So if I do 2 levels, there she is, and there's the treasure chest in the opposite corner. It's definitely higher than her. I could have like done more specific planning, but I like doing things in a sort of organic way. I do have to get going in about 40 minutes, so I don't have all the time in the world here.
Well, what's his name? Alan. Alan Rivers' last name? Yeah. He goes to England all the time.
Could I do this diagonally? No.
I'm waiting for him to pick. Are you picking? Or am I picking it?
I actually kind of like diagonal. Okay, so I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 2 levels and do it diagonally. Let's think this through. Like that, and like that. And do steps.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah, groundwater.
Yeah, no, pretty big. I need 8 more Pokemon.
Yeah, what is it like? What? I got all the Pokemon around my property.
Launcher, I need 18 more.
My plan is to do a cobblestone texture underneath everything.
Ready to see something crazy? Look at how many Pokemon Magic Hurricane you can make on the wall. But you know what he becomes.
Yeah, he becomes Gyarados. That's the most useless Pokemon in the whole game.
Until
It's
they
the
become
most
scary.
powerful Pokemon in the whole game.
I'm gonna play Chicken Slippers.
There.
Her ability lets me repair more. So I am this car. No offense. I am this car.
So,
And Mike is radiant.
so
All right.
So we don't know yet.
oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just I have to go. I have to just
We,
make it work.
Yeah, 20.
You won.
So I'm gonna cut
I got second. Oh,
here.
Yep.
Here we go.
You set my stats to what
Plus it.
She has not as much tires, but she has lots of brakes. But when I hit with her, I can recover, I think, an extra point.
This is just. I put this off too long. I don't have time for intricate detail. I just have to go.
He becomes electro. He becomes electro.
Yeah, wait, which one is
And then this one like this.
Yeah, he looks like a Pokemon.
Yeah. Have you ever seen? Yeah. Have you ever seen the honest trailer for Pokemon Red and Blue?
Yeah.
That is too funny. Freaking like Voltorb is like
There we go.
Pokeball and the ball forms like Alpine. Too funny.
Alright, I am going to start managing.
Okay.
And now almost done.
So here's
Only 1 or 20 is
what my base is gonna look like. Got that there. And then I've got, is it this little end? This end here?
And then we wait on it.
Like that? Oh, oh. That's not right.
That last one do up as we do
This end here. There we go. Like that. Okay. Treasure chest here.
Don't answer.
Kobold.
Why? He said, I told you I couldn't.
And the other two kobolds on the lower level. And the bard here. It's coming together. It's coming together. All right. So I think, I'm not going to glue things. I'm going to leave a cut here so I know where the edge of this is. I'm not going to glue these together yet because I want to do the texturing next.
If ever a tie, you go ahead. If, wait a minute, did you and him both won that 20 for a pole position? No, but earlier.
And then this piece goes here.
Okay, you shouldn't have even rolled the second time. Oh, that's wrong. Okay.
Cut here.
She breaks all ties. She wins all ties. Here's nitrous.
Yeah, you're right. Confusion. I'm like,
There.
oh,
Now things get intricate. I bought these, which are basing stamps, intended to be used to build bases. I got the stamps for Renaissance City, which has this stamp, which is, it's got sort of a rooftop scales thing, and it's got this very cool sort of brick pattern, but I'm going to use the cobblestone pattern. And the way you do this is, from what I understand, you get yourself some molding clay. I'm using green stuff. And then you put the green stuff on the thing that you're basing. And then you press the mold down on top of it.
Shifting up.
Like that. Okay. And then when the clay sets, you can paint it. So I have never worked with green stuff. Again, new experiences. But the way green stuff works is you mix the two colors and that activates it and it starts to harden. So I'm going to put a thin layer of green stuff across this, which is the top bit that I'm working with. Boy, this stuff is sticky. Okay, so let's mix this up here.
You can still zig out before the corner.
You're supposed to pinch off just a little bit of green stuff, but I'm working on such a big scale. Oh my goodness. Wow, this stuff. Okay. I may need more green stuff.
Because it is.
I need to get this in place before it starts to set. All right. So.
Nope. No, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Whew. This is sticky, sticky stuff.
Oh wait, if I use my nitrous, I would have gotten over in it.
Everybody's pumping.
Just trying to lay this out, get it to the edges. Want to? Oh, gracious! My goodness. I may have bitten off more than I can chew. That's okay. It's okay. I can sculpt this stuff when it's set. I'm trying to wrap it around the edge and down to the bottom. But never worked with this stuff before, so it's tricky. I don't have enough for this level. Oh man. This is a disaster in the making. I'm getting more green stuff on my fingers than I'm getting on the base.
You're okay.
It's okay. Everything's okay. I can do this.
Remember, yeah, you're going chipping down. Yeah, but remember, if you're carrying,
It's still tacky. It's okay. I'm going as fast as I can. Mix the second batch here so that I can get it on that base.
Oh wait, I can break out, right?
I can't change lanes because you're leaving.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Just press this stuff out to the edge. Merge everything together. If I was going for something more like a hill instead of trying to make something that's going to be like a regular surface like cobblestones, I might be better off. But all right, now I looked at how the basing stamps are supposed to work, and they didn't say anything about greasing the stamp first. I feel like this stuff is so sticky, it's going to stick to the stamp. But I just have to keep going forward. I should have brought some Pam. This is going to be a disaster. Okay, so the stamp, yeah, okay. Let's try it.
I'm good.
Gino's first.
And like stop.
Do I want to angle the stamp?
I don't know. Should I see numbers again?
One step, one step, one step, one step.
I think I'm going to try it this way. Pressing that
Oh, okay.
stamp
You can go down from
onto
the
the
arrow.
base.
If you look,
Try and get it
down.
nice and uniform.
We'll watch this. Oh.
Press it all the way out to the edge, and then lift the stamp off.
7, 8.
Then brace your stop there, otherwise you go in.
Nope. Nope. That's... Alright, well, I kind of suspected that was going to happen.
Down.
It's stuck to a portion of the stamp.
Do we have to roll for quarters?
Yeah. Okay. Breaks.
So am I.
I wish I was in fourth gear there. Actually, I don't, because I go to slipstream it.
Oh, yeah. Did you collision?
Yeah.
Where's up the collision?
I'm okay. Mike's okay. Gina, slow
It-
down.
Came out with the pattern on a part of the base, but not all of it. It's disappointing.
I'm going like the first.
Seven.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Try one more time.
One tire. One tire. Okay.
You can see this is what I'm trying to accomplish, is get this pattern onto the base.
Puppies. I'm okay. You're okay. It's screwed through the turn. I also took the outs.
Yeah.
So Mike can go up on his first move. Yep. And down two. One tire.
So you
Mhm.
do collision now?
Yep.
What is that? Don't get don't like collision.
Okay. Now, since you and Mike are tied, normally whoever has inside position to the next corner would go first, which would be Mike. But you go first because you're ability.
So I go first.
But I go before you.
Oh
go.
yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna shift up to green.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
Ah, this is... okay, definitely a learning experience.
Let's roll.
Mm, mm, mm,
Checking to see
mm,
what the ops.
mm,
Because that might
mm,
not change. That chance to do it.
I don't know if it's meant to work on something on this scale,
Right there?
Yep.
something this large.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so it wouldn't have counted. Yeah.
Okay, I got that. You got 9. I know how to.
That's like, there's so much traffic this game. Move. Okay.
Like, I think this basing stamp is supposed to work on something smaller. And this green stuff, I'm terrified this stuff is going to set while I'm working with it.
Also stay in green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You can see I got a bunch of green stuff stuck to the stamp. I've already ruined half the stamp. It's fine. Everything's fine.
1, 2.
Yep.
You
You did.
guys got it.
I'm fine. I crashed.
Press.
We can only do one lap. We can only do one lap.
Get the
because
mold pattern in. And then try and tear this off without...
Dead.
Oh, God. No.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Only a game.
It's tearing the... Ah. Alright. Well, that was a failed experiment. But that's fine. I've still got 2 unspoiled stamps.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think I'll try it again tomorrow
Yeah, she started in the turn.
with
Oh wait, no, I
some form of grease to put into the mold to keep the stuff from sticking to the mold.
You have to still have to stop in that corner.
Oh wait, could I move up or no?
Where did you come out of the lane thing? You cannot change lanes until you get in the corner.
Okay. That's fine with me.
I ain't gonna pull it out by myself.
I'm a little disappointed, but I knew this was going to be a learning experience. What I do have to do
Wait, so if I actually
before I
Yeah, you take one of your
stop today, I was hoping to have a base set to go on tomorrow, but I'm okay. I'm okay if I have to just, I'm going to cut myself a replacement for that top piece.
I'm better. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm thinking about what gear I want to be in.
Well, we always go up and red.
Yeah, I know, but this is such a little
Um,
gray area. We can't really go fast. And I don't have a ton of tires. She only starts with 4 tires. I start with 6, but she says 6 brakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've still got the 3 pieces for my base. I just have to find a better method for texturing them.
And think about the 2 brakes. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that's bottom, middle, top.
You could go red.
Could.
Because I'm going red.
I'm gonna put my hobby knife away,
Looking at my
and then I'm
car,
going to prime.
stats on her left arm.
Oops, where's the? There we are. I'm going to prime the figures.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 tires. And a brake. And I have almost completed brakes.
That's all garbage. I hate to say it, but I think this basing stamp, well, there's some portions of it that I didn't ruin. It's mostly garbage, though. Unless after it sets, I can pick the green stuff out.
This is a dangerous fairway because you get so way too much speed going into that 3-stop corner.
Yeah.
I've still got some green stuff. Still got my wooden base. I don't think I'm going to use these candelabras, but these guys need to be based, or need to be primed. So I'm going to prime them, not on camera, but I'm going to prime them with the Chaos Black Citadel primer. Hopefully it won't react with the plastic and cause any disasters. I've heard that sometimes primers can react with the plastic of the Bones figures. I just have to try and see what happens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's garbage. These guys I'll hang on to and throw out all these little bases. I'll hang on to this one.
And now I will see. And I don't have
All right, well, I feel like I got some experimenting in. I definitely have to learn better how to work with green stuff and how to work with the basing stamp. So that's something that I have to
2 stops in that corner.
work on for the future. I'm gonna put these guys on some cardboard and prime one side of them, and then I'll flip them over tomorrow morning and prime the other side of them, and I'll try and do some painting tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon, if you join me, I'll be starting to paint these probably around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And yeah, we'll see how the Bard starts to look when I start doing some painting on her. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to continuing to experiment and see where I go with this stuff next.
I'll do it when I lift my car out.
Bye, everybody.
Oh no, already? Yeah, he cracked me.